What's up, guys? Adam AKC is Radical here, and welcome to Let's Soul. Let's Talk. Welcome to Let's Talk, the place where we take a simple subject, give it its 15 minutes of fame for better or worse. This week we have subscription services. You know why? Because EA Access is on its way, and it's already done its first stupid thing. Now, I have to preface this by saying that I did originally make this for Monday, but this lovely webcam service I had was crashing every time I finished a video and never releasing it. So after a lot of messing around with it, I finally got it to work, so it's coming out on this Friday. And it's a good thing too, because I found out new information about the service that just makes it funny. I'll try to go through it quickly, because I've already kind of gave my bitch sense at it. But essentially what EA Access originally, because I'm trying to figure this out the right way, because now that this information is starting to come up, I'm conflicted on what to call it. But I guess you could say the service itself is meant to be $5 a month for a full year, so we're talking $60 a year, to give you essentially certain things quickly or at better discounts or stuff. The way EA Access is supposed to work, it's supposed to give you access within 5 days early of the game's release for games like Madden, like NHL, like Battlefield, I would assume, and all these others. It would allow you to play other games, I'm assuming for free. I want to assume that. I would hope so if you're already paying a subscription service. Games that have already existed, like Battlefield 3, that kind of stuff as well. And then the other thing, obviously, was, it just gives you 10 to 15% discounts and everything, which makes sense. It's like how with any of the major stuff, like games with gold, with PlayStation Plus, there's discounts involved. Same with Steam, there's always discounts. Even though and Steam's a free subscription model. Let that go for a second. The discounts you can get on Steam, and you're not paying a cent to use that program. But the main problem that I had initially was the idea that any developer now is going to jump on this, and I have to assume that Ubisoft will be no doubtably thinking about it if they already haven't been in the pre-stages of planning that. Because the second somebody decides to go for something that's going to take more money from the consumer, every other major company that's in the same running is going to do the same thing. Think, you can't get all that money, I got to get it in there too. That's as simple as it gets. That is business in a nutshell. The second somebody takes a little bit more money than the others will do the same thing. They get this to bring it back to equal terms. You wonder where to go with this otherwise. I'm trying to think of what other companies could do it other than Ubisoft. I'm not sure if there's any others off the top of my head that I can think of. Maybe Activision, maybe Blizzard, who knows. Yes, that's the same thing, but you get the point. But my main concern, actually, was because it's EA that's doing it. And it's kind of easy to take a shot at that when you take into consideration that they are, or were, I should say, the defending worst company in America championships winners thing, whatever you want to call it. And then they finally lost, because people finally realized, banks and other corporations like that, they probably are a little worse than a video game manufacturer. But you don't get the 2 years in a row without being douchebags somehow. So, forgive me for assuming that a company that has that kind of status to them would go out of their way to find a way to fuck that up. Turns out they already have. Originally I thought, my biggest thing about that was, they will probably raise the price over time, or maybe there'll only be certain games that will be put on that and you can't get them anywhere else. Maybe they'll make it to the point that even just a one console that they'll do these things to make exclusivity a thing again, which is a whole other fucking conversation I need to get into. But it turns out, remember when I said about how you're supposed to get access to games 5 days early? Well, the first chip to fall on that was Madden 15. And as it turns out, you can get it 5 days early, but you ain't getting to play it the full 5 days. You get 6 hours total. Now, let me break that down to the average person. I can see most people that would be that into playing the game, they would want to use all of those 5 days. 6 hours ain't going to cut it. And makes you wonder, because with EA Season Ticket, which is more expensive, I might add, and I'm wondering why they're getting rid of it. Actually, well, that's a lie, because it's $20 a year. But, it's a big, and most people do only get it for 1 or 2 games, so I guess $20 isn't that big a deal. And it's only for getting the things free and a couple, extra DLC stuff that you get for free, but it's not that much. Right now, Season's Ticket is on its last year, and right now with the way that things run, I could get Season's Ticket again, and for FIFA 15, for NHL 15, and for Madden 15, and I'm assuming NBA if they put it out, but who the fuck would want to play that after the disaster that was 14? You could play the game 3 days early for the full 3 days. So if I'm an EA Access user, I just want to sit back and say, guys, I'm paying you $60 a year, and you're letting me get 6 hours. These guys are paying a third of what I'd be paying a year, and they're getting 3 days. If you want to do the math, that's 72 hours. 72, look at where my hand is, it's off the camera. 6, you can't even see the other hand. The difference is that fucking drastic. So you sit back and wonder, who gets the bright idea to keep Season's Ticket on for 1 more year and show it off like this? And then with EA Access coming around, they decide, you know what? We're charging them more technically by the end of the year, but we should really make it that they can't get the full time out of this. And there's also a part of me that wonders, if you're really only letting people get 6 hours in of this, is it because there's not much in your game to offer at all? It's the same reason why a lot of people are wondering now with Sims 4 coming out on the 2nd of September, which is, what, a week and a half from now? There's no there's no review copies being offered out for it, which is automatically a red flag, because it means that they're not confident. Because if they were, they let people get their hands on this early so they can come and praise the fuck out of it, so when September 2nd rolls around, people are running to get it. And it's the same thing that I wonder with Madden 15. Now, it's a Madden game, no offense, but Madden's never been has been a shit game forever. It's been copy and pasted like every other EA Sports title. FIFA seems to be the one they actually try a little bit on. That's because they also have a lot more people, a much larger audience that they can go after. So you have to wonder immediately, if they're only letting people get 6 hours out of 5 days in to play this game, they clearly do not want people to get a full 5 days of work into that game, because they fear that if they do so, they won't actually buy the game because they'll be done with it. Which tells you that there is almost nothing new in Madden 15, and that it is simply put a waste of your time. Which I could have told you already, because the Madden games have not been very good uses of time forever. So with EA Access, you have to wonder now, with Madden being the first domino to fall, what else is in store? Now NHL comes out September 9th, and I don't remember when FIFA is. I'm assuming it's either out already or it's about to be, I would imagine. So you have to wonder if the same thing happens there. When you have Battlefield Hardline coming out, will the same thing happen there? With any EA game, you have to wonder that, yeah, you get it a little bit early, but are you really going to get the full time now? Because now that it's happened once, we don't know. And that's a thought I don't like to have. I'd like to think that when I'm paying for something and I'm being told in words without, they never mention the six hours when you sign up for these things. I would sit there and say, you guys said 5 days. You did not say there was a cap on the 5 days. So if I'm an EA Access user, I am furious right now, even if I'm not even planning on playing Madden, because it's telling me, okay, if you're doing this for a game that I don't even care about, what are you going to do for the game that I do care about? So this is my first red flag, which already tells me that unless someone else comes out and says you have to get this, it is a steal. And it still seems like a steal on paper, doesn't it? $5 a month. And you get access to all this stuff. But they are already showing, before it's even really caught fire at all, that they are willing to find ways to fuck it up. So at first glance, it looks like a great deal, but now after some time passing, I now have my worries and my doubts, and now I have no intention of getting it until someone tells me otherwise. So it makes you wonder in the future what could happen. When Ubisoft does the same thing, will they put caps on the next Assassin's Creed, getting it a day early or whatever? You don't know. You don't know what they can do, and at the end of the day, I'm still completely confident that it's not going to stay at $5. I feel like that's too easy. That's too easy. You're sitting there thinking, that's not so bad. But we all know, the second something looks good, you gotta sit back and wonder, what's the catch? And the catch has already been revealed with one spell swoop with EA telling us that, yes, you get the game 5 days early, but you only get to play it for 6 hours. That, my friends, is what we call a steal, but not on our end. They took us, an advantage, took us for... I can't even think of the word. Took us for granted, there we go. They took us for granted, and we basically fell into their trap. Will it continue like this? We don't know. But once one red flag comes up, we await the second. And at that point, it becomes a shame on you, shame on me thing, that kind of stuff. Fool me twice, whatever. It becomes one of those. And now that they've done it once, I have to immediately assume they're going to do it a second time, and I ain't going to let that happen. So, at this point in time, EA Access means nothing to me. Because I can't trust them. It goes to show you that EA will seemingly go out of their way to find ways to piss you off for no apparent reason. And I gotta tell you, I don't know how much thinner the ice can get on their end before something's bound to happen. And we've seen it with people really not giving two shits about Battlefield 4. Battlefield Hardline has not been raising anything, as far as I've heard. And you can only ride EA Sports for so long before people finally say, this is fucking garbage. You just copy and paste everything. And I'm not even, I have to check, because I don't know what the sales numbers have been. But I have to almost assume that I would have to think numbers have started to dwindle. Maybe not by very much, but I have to assume they would. So, this becomes a Dear EA note. So, Dear EA, you better stop fucking up. Because you're running on the thinnest ice you ever had, and goodwill is dwindling very, very fast. So the ball's in your court. What are you going to do? Really focus on the ass again, because that's normally what you do. That's your initial reaction. It's like your basic instinct. But you're getting one last chance for me, especially, because the only game that I ever buy from you anymore is NHL, and that's because as a Canadian, I'm pretty much obligated to buy a hockey game. And at the same time, Mass Effect is also on my docket. But I trust BioWare a little bit better because they may be attached to you, but they still seemingly make at least decent games while they get pushed out the window. In the case of Battlefield, in the case of most of your sports games, you just straight push them and they end up being pieces of shit. So, with EA Access, you have one choice to make. You either fuck it up, or you don't fuck it up. And right now you're fucking it up. And if you keep fucking it up, we're going to fuck up your sales. That's as simple as it gets. And I hope you figure out what the fuck you're doing, because right now you're shitting yourself and it just stinks. And I have no intention of buying shit that stinks. It's kind of a thing. You know? You gotta go with that. So anyways, guys, that is the end of the video. In the comments below, I want you guys to tell me, is this a red flag to you guys? Does this make you worry at all? And did you even have any intention of buying EA Access? Because honestly, I had like a raising of the eyebrow, and then it just kind of turned to what this is now. So guys, thanks for watching. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. These are every Monday and Friday. Now that I got the fucking webcam software fixed, I can get it to do it. And again, if you guys want to look back there, I also took the ALS bucket challenge, or ALS ice bucket challenge. I got to note the bucket challenge is not the same thing. But yeah, I took the challenge, and if you guys really should be keeping an eye on that stuff, watch the video because it's also suffering, and it's caught wildfire. I'm amazed by how much money they made off of that. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. See you later.